her, and then you.
Yeah.
This is more on a filmmaker standpoint, but how should I be practicing now for the industry later?
What's your interest? Do you have an emphasis yet, or are you just
filmmaking in general?
Yeah, filmmaking in general? There's nothing stopping you from writing your own stories, picking up your cell phone and getting some friends together and filming it, or even using, you know, like a Master Chief toy. There's this thing, I don't know how it was introduced to me, but like people were talking about like there's so many cameras out there now, and like it's so much accessible, we're gonna have some amazing filmmakers out there. And I was like, well, yeah, but there's also been pen and paper available to everyone for 100 years. And being an excellent writer is still very hard. And I think the same thing is true with filmmaking, which isn't to be discouraging, rather, you gotta use these tools. You know, like these phones will go months in people's pockets sometimes without doing any creation. So just start playing, and you know, you don't even need to think about it as work. Just follow whatever whimsical idea you have, that thing that doesn't really make sense, but you want to see how these images cut together. Just go out there and do it, and have fun. And what's going to be really fun is when you do something and it doesn't work, but you can see that it would really work for another thing, and then there's like this eureka moment, and you go in that direction, and then all of a sudden you've created this thing that didn't even exist in your mind until you got out there in the world and you started trying. And you'll find people who want to do the same thing, and you just keep doing it. So that's the best way. And then you'll find a discipline that you like. You know, like you'll realize that maybe you're a better storyteller, or a script writer, or a cinematographer, or a director. And the only way you're going to find that out is if you just pick a direction and start walking. So, yeah.
You. Yeah.
It's kind of like a comment involving like FromSoft's like the amount of anticipation in each movement. That has something to do with like how the combat in that game is designed, where it's like it not only is it all about like looking for openings in your opponent and taking them, but it also bleeds into like player versus player, where you have to be very careful with your attacks because you have just as much wind up and tells as like every other enemy in the game. So you always have to be careful not to slip up.
The question is, this is very specific to one game, but I'm going to repeat the question anyway. From software games like Bloodborne and Dark Souls, they have very deliberate windups on all their attacks and a lot of their actions. And the question is it done that way to make it somewhat more fair between you and the other player and another player, or the enemies that you fight in the game? So I'm going to say a couple of things about this. One, the people at From Software hate everyone. They hate people who play games. They really do. They design those games. They are very much an outlier in that they make those games really hard. I'm in a game developer Discord where that actual question came up this week. We have a weekly question where we talk about the accessibility and approachability of games. And that series always comes up as, well, look at this one. They don't care what happens to you. And they're still selling lots, and they have millions and millions of sales. And it's just because they are the one that did it, and they did it pretty well. That game is very much designed for you to see patterns. It's designed to kind of, if you broke it down, like a very old school arcade game where enemies had patterns, where they came, on a very specific timing pattern, 113, 112, 152, 2, So they force you to learn patterns in that game more than most other games do. And that's the thing I think that's lost on people who criticize them. They're very old school in how they design things. I think also they really do like their animation, like they really do like to sell a feeling in that game, and sometimes that feeling is misery, but other times it's supposed to be accomplishment, and they do a really good job of making you so miserable most of the time that when you accomplish something, it feels freaking fantastic. So that's, I think it's partly designed to allow you to learn timing, but it's also designed to make you feel good when you actually do something well.
Yeah, Phoenix Dragon would be a lot less amazing and
exactly, yeah.
So they probably have to make a weaponry to do that, but with the effect of your arms explode afterwards.
Yeah, any more? I saw a hand almost go up over there, but it was a lie. Oh, it did! We did it!
Is there, so for like VFX or like sound effects, you know, Blender, they all do that stuff, so, you know, but like, is there any like software for like sound effects and VFX that you could use in like videos for like an amateur animator or something like that, for just someone to use for that?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't make a lot of videos. It's definitely something I can find out though. I mean, I use After Effects. You can probably do some neat stuff in that. I know a lot of friends of mine who are in VFX use Nuke, but that's all you're getting into like super expensive software, and so I don't know like if there's anything accessible to students, but that's something I can try to find out for you and see. I know enough people that work in the industry to find out. Yeah.
Do you have any idea?
I do not know.
You don't know?
Okay.
Nuke's the one that I know of. Like that's what when I was in film school, that's what we used.
James, Tim.
I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, this is fun. Thank you.
Thank you for the questions. They were great questions.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Okay, so I just want to close things up real quick. I think we're kind of wrapping up here. So I want to end with like a couple of quick things. First off, thanks. Thank you guys. Thank you students. Thank you teachers. Thank you parents. Just everybody. So I have two things that I usually say at the end of these. I should probably do the mic so that Scott can. Scott gets mad at me if I don't use it. So anyways, two things that I always like to end these things with. And you know, we've been doing this a while. Leanne and Scott have heard this rant way too many times. So students, I want to talk to you guys for a second. One of the issues in the game industry that we hear about all the time, probably hear it from you guys too, is imposter syndrome. Okay? And it's hard to fight, right? Like, you never think you're as good. You look at that thing that somebody else did. Oh my God, how cool was that? Right? Okay, but here's the deal. You guys made a film. Every single student who came here made a film. How many people not in this room have made films? You did it. You're on the team now. That's it. Okay, so that's thing one. Thing two, we got a lot of volunteers today, and I want to call out everybody in Ames. I get a lot of visibility because I'm always running around in things, but this works with so many people, and so many people you don't see. Even for here, like I've got my squad, right? Like you don't go into battle without your healer and your tank and your DPS and your crowd control, right? Most of you, some of the parents in here are like, what is he talking about? Some of the parents are like, yeah, okay. So here's the deal. We don't go into battle without these people, right? I don't go into battle without my stage manager, who wasn't here today, but he was here helping me out yesterday. I don't go into battle without Scott filming and people helping me with things like the programs that we picked up in the front. I don't go into battle without my awesome panels and my co-coordinators and all these other people. I don't go into battle without all of these other people that help me do this stuff. Okay? Y'all have backup. Use it. The other thing is, at some point, you're gonna be asked to be backup. Some kid is gonna walk up to you and be like, how did you get to be an animator? Answer the question. Help them out. Be on these panels. Okay, at some point when you have the opportunity, right now you're the ones needing help. Someday you're gonna be the ones able to give help. Do it. Help them out. Okay, I think that's it. Let's call it good. Thank you all for evening, the first in-person Film and Animation Showcase. Congratulations to winners, congratulations to students who made films, congratulations to parents, congrats to teachers. Thank you to our panel. We're done. Have a great night, everybody. Drive safe.